Ooh, I think we're recording now. Hi everyone. It's been a very long second since I've been on here, but it feels very good to be back. I'm luckily back in school, but also reading a little bit more, and I have some time in my hands to share those reads with you. So I thought I'd kick off this brief reintroduction to YouTube with a cute little book haul I have, and then since we have only 2.5 months until the end of the year, it's about like mid-October now, I wanted to try a new thing when I'm deciding my end of the year TBR. So I have some TBR jars made, and we'll be picking books from them. I'll be introducing them to you, and then I'll see if I can get around to reading them before the end of the year, shall we? And I have a warm cup of green tea in this lovely Friday morning right before our fall break. I'm in a very good headspace, so I'm very excited to be back and talking to you guys. So let's just dive into the video. Okay. Ugh. So the first thing I have here is sort of an extreme purchase, I know, but I am taking a class on purely Jane Austen, and we're reading 6 of her books this semester, which is a lot, but also I like taking classes that will forcing is a bad word, but require me to read books that I already enjoy for credit, so that I'll have to allocate time to do that. So in order to get myself excited for the class, and as a back to school present, I guess, I got the Penguin Classics cloth bound editions of Austen's works. We have, okay, I'm just gonna do this. We have Pride and Prejudice, Sense and Sensibility, Northanger Abbey, Emma, Love and Friendship, Persuasion, and Mansfield Park. I'm reading Mansfield Park right now. We have made our way through the first 3, Northanger Abbey, Sense and Sensibility, and Pride and Prejudice, and I've been loving every second of it. I love it. I kind of want to do a purely Jane Austen video and like compare her writing and characters throughout her novels, because I think it's very interesting. I don't think we're gonna have to read Love and Friendship for this class, so I might also, this is not a full novel, I don't think. It's a collection of unfinished works by Austen, so I kind of want to wrap the semester up by reading that and then doing that Jane Austen video, hopefully. Let me know if you would be interested in it. I will likely film it even if you're not interested, because I'm supposed to be writing an end of the term essay / paper on Austen, so I'm gonna have a lot to say. In my newest club that I joined, I am now a part of a professional sustainability fraternity, and we have some social groups within the frat to encourage like leisurely hangouts and like sharing our interests with each other, and we have a book pod. Naturally I joined, and naturally we went on a book shopping trip, and naturally I was the only one that made this large of a purchase, but it's okay. First we went to our local bookstore that has like new books in their shelves, and I picked up Dune by Frank Herbert. I'm beyond excited for the adaptation that's coming up. I already have plans to see it. I don't think I'm not gonna finish this before I see the adaptation, but I think it's a story that I would be able to read through even after I see the movie. And also I heard that the movie only covers like half of this book, so I will have something to look forward to. And but that also means that the movie might end on a cliffhanger. I don't know how I feel about that yet, but we'll see. I'll keep you guys updated. But after that local bookstore, we hit up our local secondhand bookstore, and I found myself pick up 5 more titles. They are a lot more literary, a lot more on the literary fiction side, but I picked up 2 Paul Auster books. I have read the New York trilogy before. I was very young. I remember being in awe of it, but I don't think I understood all the nuances in the story or the writing, so I kind of want to revisit it, and this is just a beautiful Penguin Classics edition of it, so I'm excited to get to that. And then I also picked up Timbuktu, which is about a dog, I want to say. I don't know if the whole book is from the dog's perspective, but I have heard a lot of great things about this. It's about this man and his dog, Mr. Bones, I believe, and their friendship is compared to that of Don Quixote and Sancho Panza, and I'm very excited about it. I have read Don Quixote's like abridged version when I was a kid, and I love that story, and I think that comparison was what drew me in, honestly. It says Mr. Bones is our witness, so I'm guessing we're gonna get a lot of the account from a dog's perspective. I might be completely wrong about that, but we'll see. The poet Willie and Mr. Bones, the dog, goes on a journey, an adventure, and Willie is trying not to vanish into the world called Timbuktu. I'm very excited to read this. It's also a very short read, so I think this might come in handy when I'm on a vacation or like flying somewhere or have a long ride ahead of me. And then the next thing I picked up was 100 Years of Solitude by Gabrielle Garcia Marquez. I have read Marquez's short stories before. I love his way of approaching magical realism. I think his prose is incredible. It's so unique, and I love the man's imagination, and I have not read this one before, and the copy was pretty, like, in a very good shape, so I just decided to pick it up. I'll let you know when I read it. And then I was initially looking for a book called Price of Salt, which is the book that the movie Carol is based on, but sadly I didn't find it in either of the bookstores, so I might just go for the ebook. We'll see about that, but I did see Patricia Highsmith's other title, Ripley's Game. Patricia Highsmith is the author of that other book I talked about, and Ripley's Game is actually the story of the movie, the something life of magical Ripley, Mr. Ripley or something. I'm excited to get to this. The copy is also in a very good shape, and I'm excited to delve into Highsmith's writing, and hopefully we'll find the other title in ebook format and actually get to read it too. And then lastly I have The Prophet by Khalil Gibran. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, but he is a poet. He's a Middle Eastern poet. He's a Lebanese poet, and I've mainly heard praise about him on Emma's channel. The queen of all things classics and literary fiction. I love her videos so much, but she praised this poet so much, and I'm also taking a poetry class this semester, and I think I need to be more intentional about which poets I discover and how carefully I read their works right now. So I picked up that, and I'm excited to get to it. I think I'm gonna make it my bedside table book and like go in and read a couple of pieces every night before bed. That could happen. So since the haul part of the video is completed, I can dive into my TBR jars. Now, I don't have a very structurally sound way to do this. My TBR jars are not the best either, but I do have a little container of cards with sequels that I need to get to. So these are all like series that I have started, am in the middle of, and want to finish sooner rather than later so that I don't forget things. And these are just new titles that I have, which I think I might need a wider container to pull from. reasonable for me to pick 2 sequels and 2 or 3, maybe 3. 2 sequels and 3 new titles that I want to get to. And I'll see if I can work through them, and then that will inform my later TBR jar adventures. But we can just go in and see what comes out of the sequel jar. I should have probably folded these a little better, but it's fine. Okay, I'm not looking. The first one I picked is Full Moon by Jim Butcher, which is the second book in the Dresden Files series. It's like an urban fantasy series following this not vampire detective, like this detective who is hunting supernatural creatures in Chicago, I want to say. And I read the first book so many months ago. I think I left it unread because the language and the character Harry Dresden was not my favorite. His approach to women characters still rubs me the wrong way, but I am a little curious about how Jim Butcher expands this urban fantasy world, because urban fantasy is usually not my go-to, so I think I want to figure out what works so well with this series that it is in such high demand. Whew, okay, speaking, who are we? And then the second sequel that I will be trying to get to by the end of this year is The Conference of the Birds by Ransom Riggs, which is the 5th book in the Peculiar Children series. Okay, let me tell you. I ate up the first 3 books in the series, and then I had like a 2-year gap between that the third book and then the 4th book. And I read the 4th book last semester, I want to say, and I was fairly entertained. I was very scared of not being that into like this magical orphanage, peculiar children that have certain powers, this guy that can see monsters type of thing. I thought it might have been a little overdone for me by that point, but although I wasn't as enthusiastic about it as the first part of the series, I think it was a fun time, so I do want to continue on. So those 2 will be my priority sequels going forward in 2021. And then for this, I think I want to... Okay, let's do this. I want to pick the 3 non-sequel things from a larger container, because that little... I'm gonna get myself good TBR jars from a thrift store, okay? But right now I can use my Jane Austen case to draw from. And we're picking the first title that I want to get to before the end of this year is Imaginary Friend by Stephen Chabotsky. This is exciting. This is a creepy book. I know that it's about a boy that goes missing, goes into the woods, is missing for a period of time, and then comes back unharmed, but he can hear, he has an imaginary friend in his head that's telling him to build this tree house for some reason, and sinister things may happen if he can't finish it by a deadline, I think. I'm very excited about this. Jessie May at Jessie's booktube channel, I think it's her booktube handle is Jessie May, raves about this. This is one of her favorite books, so I'm very curious to get to it and see if our tastes actually align. Okay, the second title that I have picked is The Wicked Deep by Shea Earnshaw. This is so fun. I think this is a mermaid retelling that is very creepy, and the mermaids are not like pretty sirens that lure you to your death, but also make you fall in love with, may fall in love with you, so may spare you. No, I think they are monstrous, and I'm very excited about it. Okay, cool, amazing. So, Imaginary Friend and the Wicked Deep. And then, the last title that I have picked is Beartown by Frederick Bachmann. I know that this is gonna break me, but maybe we do need some sort of emotion going forward. This is about a hockey town that faces a sexual harassment / rape incident, and one of the hockey players is the perpetrator, but the hockey image is so important to the town that the town is basically divided into two, and people are advocating for like covering this up, and it sounds so emotional and frustrating and scary, and I have been meaning to delve into Bachmann, so it's gonna be exciting to add a new author into the list of authors that I have read and know a little more about their writing. So that will probably appear in one or two of my wrap-ups down the line, but for now I think that's it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you liked it, and I hope you'll stick around because I intend to post more. Hopefully. Maybe. It's an academic year, so I don't know what's gonna happen, but I do know that I want to be more active on this platform. So, thank you so much. I hope you liked it. Please give me a thumbs up if you did, and leave in the comments what you want to read by the end of the year maybe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys!